Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So today I'm going to run through a pull session. Hopefully you'll learn something, a couple of reasons why I do some things in a certain way and some technique tips on the way. So first exercise, single arm lat pull down. Best thing about this is because you're using a bench, you're completely fixed in place. Other reason, because we're using the cables, you can make it entirely unique to you just by changing the height of it and how you want to pull. So 100% individual. It makes sense to start off with a lat isolation. If you get a bit more fatigued from doing other movements, it's going to be harder to get the lat short, and that's the whole point, is try and get the muscle as short as possible while you're working. So let's just quick run through of this. So best practice to use, you want to slightly lean over to the working side. This engages your lat and also obliques as well, which obviously your obliques are connected to your lat. As you pull down, you don't want to pull too far and overstretch the shoulder like so. Stay locked in place, and when you pull down, elbow comes in line to your back pocket and a slight internal rotation of the hand. Hopefully, as it gets harder, you still don't move from this position. You just want to stay there. Exercise number 2, T-bar row. So we're trying to work a bit more lats and upper back, so it just depends how you have your hands on this, kind of dictates which muscle we're going to focus on a little bit more. So we're kind of going to come in at this angle here, so we're trying to get the lat short there in that angle. I always do one kind of feeder set, just kind of get used to the range of motion, and then we'll go in for our first top set. Key points for your T-bar row: try and really sink your body into the pads. If you're starting to come up and release off, you're not really getting the muscle shorter. What's happening is you're actually just moving your torso further away from what you're trying to achieve. So really try and stay sunk in the whole time. Okay. So doing a single arm row, we're going to the standing. Reason being, if we're on the seat, we'll be a bit too close to what we're trying to achieve here. Well, so what's happening is when this is pulling back, the weight actually gets lighter as you pull back because of where the axis of rotation is. So we're trying to manipulate that as much as possible, because you're going to be stronger for the first half than the second half, so we can load it heavier where we're stronger, and where we're lighter, the weight's going to slightly drop off, making it so that it's going to be fluid all the way through it, and we're matching the strength profile as we work. So doing single arms and standing, again similar to our single arm row that we started, single arm pull down that we started off with before. We want to lean over to that working side, engage that lat and engage that oblique as well, and draw back. Try and keep that torso nice and upright. number 4. So we're doing a upper back row. Good way to isolate the rhomboids, traps, and all the muscles around your scapula. This is chest supported, so you don't have to use your core. You can keep as much tension on those muscle groups as much as possible. And that's really it. That's all I've got to say about it. I've only started doing this quite recently, and so far one of the best exercises I've found for my upper back, just because you get so much tension on that rhomboid. When you're pulling back, just think about really squeezing those muscle groups together right in the middle of your back. Exercise number 5, the last pull movement we're doing. So this is a lat pullover. It's really good to finish off on, in my opinion. Just kind of squeeze as much kind of effort as you can out of your lats. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of finish them off nicely. Gives you a really nice good pump and makes you feel like you're depleted the muscle, if that makes sense. So key things with a lat pullover, using a double rope. Reason being, if you're using a straight bar, or just one rope, what happens is when your hands come closer to your body, you get restricted by your actual body itself. So with this, because the ropes are longer, you can bring it either side, again, making that muscle as short as possible. So other key points in this, you want a good stretch in your lats. And also, as you kind of come closer to the body with the hands, you want to lift up the torso as well. Again, it just finishes off and makes that lat as short as possible, because there's a little bit more room to go, rather than if you just finished off just straight. Try and keep the tension in the core as much as possible as well, and spend a little bit of time just in that shortened range at the bottom there, really squeezing it out. So finishing off the session with some work on the biceps. I think my arms are probably one of my weakest points, so frequency is quite high. Training biceps twice a week, and also it's going to get some work when I'm doing any pull-in, so I have a posterior day as well, so almost like 3 times a week. Triceps are twice a week, both on my push days. So 2 exercises that I've been selected are cross-body bicep curls, working on one side completely and then the other, and then the other one's a bit more of an isolation, which is a single arm preacher curl with a dumbbell. So they'll just come up next and you'll see how I do them. This is a point when you've almost finished your workout, you've got to take off the pump cover and see what you've been working on so far. So session is finished. Now I do a round of posing after a train. Practice, practice, practice. You're only going to get better with just doing it repetitively. It's also a good idea just to see how you're looking as time goes on as well. So the more I do it and the higher frequency of posing I'm going to do, I'm only going to get better at it. I am going to hire a posing coach because a professional eye is always going to be better than mine. As much as like homework you can do and watch other people posing, it's never going to be as good as someone's telling you this is what you need to do. But so this is a physique update as it stands. This is the start of week 4, so doing alright I think. Let's do a quick round and see how we're doing. That's a wrap on this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, hopefully you found it insightful. Just a little look into how training is looking at the moment. So 19 weeks out, I believe, from just Sunday just passed. So a long way to go. Try not to get too far ahead of ourselves, just enjoy the process as it's going. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.